Yo, what's up everybody? Jumping here, and today I have another build for you guys in Red Dead Redemption 2 Online. This is going to be a melee build, and let me tell you, this is actually a really good build. It's a lot of fun to play, and the best part is that it's extremely trolly, because you will really make people mad with this build if you're rocking it and you're doing it right. Now, first things first, I really do recommend using this build in a one-on-one situation. Or if you are going to go against multiple people, you probably want to be in a posse, just because if you're trying to kill 2 or 3 guys with a build like this, you're going to die a lot. That's just the reality of it. But if you have a posse to back you up, then you will cause such a distraction that the other team are going to literally rage. And if it's one-on-one, there's really not much people can do against you with a build like this. It's actually really overpowered in that circumstance. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Now, the weapon that I recommend for this build is actually the Tomahawk. Now, the reason why this is important is because with the Tomahawk, you can actually aim. And that's going to be important because you're going to have to aim for a second to go into Deadeye, and Deadeye is a very important aspect of this build. So you're going to want the Tomahawk or the throwing knife, something like that, so that you're actually able to aim. Now, outside of that, there are other weapons that are not really melee, but they can actually help you with this. I would probably say the Varmint rifle if you're trying to shoot people, or any type of decent repeater. But mainly, I definitely do recommend dynamite arrows if you do have these, because sometimes people are going to try to hop on their horse. And if they hop on their horse, you're not going to be able to easily melee them, but a good old-fashioned dynamite arrow will take them off that horse immediately. So these are great. And also, with the particular Deadeye ability that we're using, you're going to have to free aim, meaning that the dynamite arrow is extremely easy to use. Now, this is high level, so if you don't have it, it's not a big deal, but this is something I recommend. And also maybe having dual sawed-off shotguns, just in case you do have to bust out a gun, you can always bust them out at close range. But overall, the main weapon will be the Tomahawk. Now, let's talk about the abilities for this and why this is so good. The first ability is Slippery Bastard. This is the Deadeye ability, and this is amazing for this. Basically, anytime that you are going to try to run up to melee someone, you want to go ahead and activate Slippery Bastard. That's why the Tomahawk is important. You aim, you activate, and then you start running at them. Generally, you always want to run kind of in a zigzag, make it really hard for them to hit you. And when you're running at them like that and they have to free aim on you, they are not going to be able to hit you. Now, the next ability is going to be the Unblinking Eye. You can replace this with something else. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But the big downside to Slippery Bastard is that your Deadeye is going to drain faster with that than with other Deadeye abilities. And with this can kind of counter that. So I definitely would recommend this most of the time. But if you don't want to use this, you can also use Never Without One. Now, this is kind of frustrating to deal with just because anytime you tackle someone, if they actually do get them off of you, you're going to lose your hat. Or if they punch you, anything like that, you're going to lose the hat. And that is kind of a big deal. But this will still protect you from being headshotted, because sometimes people might get lucky and they'll hit you in the head. But also, you take less damage when you're wearing the hat. So if they're trying to counter you with like a shotgun or something, this is really nice. But overall, I do recommend the Unblinking Eye. I think that this is pretty much the best. And also, I really haven't been headshotted that often with this build, just because whenever I'm going after somebody, it's just so hard to even hit me in the body, more or less in the head. They really have to get lucky to hit you in the head. Next up, now this is really important. I went for the perk to Fight Another Day. What this does is that you take much less damage from bullets while you're sprinting. So the whole idea is that you go into Deadeye and then you run after someone. You sprint towards them to tackle them and then to kill them with your melee, or to just get close enough to them to melee them. So with this, while you're sprinting at them, if they do hit you, and most of the time it's going to be in the body, you're going to take less damage from that. And finally, the last perk is of Single Purpose, and this allows you to take less damage from bullets when you're unarmed or using a melee weapon. So as long as you have a melee weapon in your hand, and the Tomahawk does count as a melee weapon, you're going to take less damage from bullets. Now, all these will stack together, and if you are using Never Without One, the amount of damage that you actually take from bullets is super low. And if you're running after someone, they are going to do so little damage to you. Even if they're shotgunning you, they will not kill you. It will do maybe half your health from a shotgun at really close range, as long as you're running at them, you have your melee weapon out, and also if you have Never Without One, like you take like no damage. Now you don't need Never Without one, but I definitely do recommend it sometimes if the players are decent or smart and they're headshotting you, or if they're using shotgun or something like that, you might want to go ahead and switch that perk over. But this setup is amazing. Now I'm going to demonstrate it. I have a friend who's going to actually use it against me, so you can see like why it's so good, why it's so trolly. And then I'm going to use it against my friends, and you're going to see like what it can do, because it is actually really good. But the main thing is that it's super trolly. And remember, if you're in a posse fight, you are such a big distraction on the battlefield. They don't even know what to do, because if your friends are shooting them and you're running after them, they have to deal with you, but they also have to worry about your friends shooting them. So it's actually super trolly, and it's a lot of fun. Alrighty guys, well here's going to be some gameplay demonstrating this and how it works. Now the first clip here is going to be me versus my friend who's using the exact same setup. And one thing you're going to notice is that I'm accidentally auto-aiming onto other targets, NPCs, maybe other players. And as he's coming at me, I mean, I hit him 3 times. He was running a straight line on purpose, and even after hitting him 3 times with express ammo from the Lancaster, I didn't put him down. So that's how tanky he is and how hard it is for him to kill. Now at this point, you're going to see it from my point of view, and I made sure my friend was really far away. And I told him, try your heart out to hit me and to kill me with a repeater, and that's what he's trying to do. And I'm just closing the gap, and as I'm bobbing and weaving, he is having a hell of a time trying to hit me, and I got to him no problem. And there you go. I mean, and once you're on top of someone, like if you've tackled them, you have such an advantage. And even if they take you off of them, you could still get them really easily. I'm going to demonstrate that in a moment here. But right here, he was using a shotgun. I just ran at him in a straight line so he can hit me. And as you can see, it did like maybe half my health, but that was it. It wasn't a big deal. Now right here, this is just to demonstrate if somebody gets on their horse, you can always pull them off, but if you have the dynamite arrow, you can use that. That's why I recommend it. It's a really nice and nifty thing for this build. Kind of goes with the theme too. And right here, this is going to be me letting him go on purpose, but let's say he was to get me off of him if I lost the tapping contest. If he was to get me off, I could still get him no problem because I have a melee weapon and he doesn't. So it's very easy to actually get them at that point. Now right here, another thing I'm going to demonstrate is just really what it would be like as a one-on-one, because he's going to try his heart out. That's what I told him. Just try to kill me as best you can. And I am just running after him on spawn, and I'm just going to keep coming at him. Now, one thing I do want to say about this build, now that I have the time to mention it, is that one thing you're going to want to have is, of course, a bunch of potent snake oils. You can get those from Indian Tobacco. There's great spots that you can farm it. And also, I would probably recommend having Miracle Tonics. There's a great spot. I have a video about this spot where you can get potent Miracle Tonics for free, and it's really nice. Also, potent health cures from that spot and Moonshine, so it's a great spot. But you do want to have these items so that you can use them. I think Cocaine Gum is another one because you're going to be sprinting a lot. So you want to have some items. So this is a build that does require items, and I definitely recommend them. But, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. It's so trolly, and in a one-on-one, I mean, it's pretty overpowered. There's no doubt about that. But also in a posse fight where you have some teammates, you just cause a huge distraction. I actually got the idea for this build just from one of my friends. He would just run around and melee people, and I always found it being really funny and that it was a huge distraction. So I said, I'm going to come up with a build for him. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for the video. So I really hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope that this has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future videos, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.